Good morning. Salam, እንዴት ናችሁ? So today we are going to start the ethical hacking in the network security course. The course which can be familiarize you with the concept of security and how we can do the hacking activity based upon the ethical concept. So in this chapter we are going to see the introductory parts and some terminologies and some concept of networking and the security concepts in this chapter. So when you start chapter 1, it is more focuses on introduction to ethical hacking. So just how we can do ethical hacking, the purpose of ethical hacking, and the terminology that can we use in ethical hacking era. So in this chapter you can see those things. So as essential terminology, the first thing is we see in this chapter is about threat. Just as you know, threat in different security course like information security, network security, or others database security. Threats means it is defined who makes attack against what assets during or using what resource with what goal in mind, when, where, why, and with what probability. So it is a potential violation of the security. Threat means just what can be done on your assets to violate your network or information security policies. And the other thing is about vulnerability. That means vulnerability means it is a weakness or existence of the weakness in the design, implementation error, coding error, security elements that you can apply. The algorithms that you can apply maybe have some vulnerability. So checking those things is the aim of the ethical hacking. So vulnerability means it is the existence of the weakness in your network system or other asset. And the other terminology is the target of violation. So target of violation means an IT system or product or maybe components that is identified or subjected as recurring security violations. That means the asset that you can need more attention for evaluation is known as target of evaluation. And the other thing in the chapter about attack. So just attack means any kind of action that can be violate your network security or information security policies. So attack means any action or any malicious intent acts that can be affect your system. The other thing is about exploit. So exploit means just a defined way to breach the gap, the security of IT systems through vulnerabilities. Then if the hacker or bad guys get some hole or some vulnerability hole, they can exploit your system. That means attacking your security means by using the vulnerability, they can exploit your system or your asset. And the other terminology is about hacker. So it is a person who enjoys learning the detail of computer system and stretch their capabilities. That means the person which can be do the concept of hacking is known as hacker. Maybe access computer system without authorization, without getting some legal authorization from the company, they can do the hacking activity. So we call those person as hacker. So if you break the law, you can maybe as a hacker you can go to the prison because without getting the authorization from the company and accessing their asset makes you responsible and can make you to go to the prison. And the other terminology is penetration test. So it is just a legal attempt to break into company network to find its weakness link. That means this is a legal act that you can be signed between the network, maybe the ethical hacker is a company, then that person can do the penetration testing. And the other is security test. So security tester is the person which can be works as the security expert and which can be propose different solution to protect your asset or your network. So penetration tester or ethical hacker cannot come up with a solution. They can do only the ethical hacking and they give the report to the company. Based upon that report, the security experts in that company can do different solution to protect their network or to avoid those weaknesses that can be identified during penetration testing or ethical hacking. And the other is about hacking. So just hacking, as you know, is defined as a technique which is done to get an access to an authorized system or the network. So it is a technique that you can use to attack some system or access some resource without getting legal authorization from the owner of that asset. So it is defined also as simply gaining access to the network or system for illegal purpose. ስለዚህ እነዚህ ሰዎች ምንድን ናቸው? ለኢሌጋል ፐርፐስ ወይም ደግሞ የሆነ ውል ወይም ደግሞ ስምምነት ከካምፓኒ ሳያገኙ ወይም ደግሞ ሌጋል የሆነ ነገር ሳይኖራቸው የሌላን አካል ወይም ደግሞ የሌላን ካምፓኒ አሴት ሪሶርስን ሀክ ለማድረግ የሚሄዱበት ነው ሃኪንግ ማለት። And the other is cracker የሚባል ነው። So it is refers to a person who uses hacking skill for offensive purpose። እነዚህ ክራከር የሚባሉት ለዲፌንሲቭ ፐርፐስ ሳይሆን ለኦፌንሲቭ ፐርፐስ የራሳቸውን የሃኪንግን ስኪል የሚጠቀሙ ሰዎች ምን ይባላሉ? ክራከር ይባላሉ። ዲፌንሲቭ ፐርፐስ የነሱን ሃኪንግ ስኪል የሚጠቀሙ ደግሞ ምን ይባላሉ? ኤቲካል ሃከር ይባላሉ ማለት ሶ ሲኩሪቲ ፕሮፌሽናልስ ሁ አፕላይ ዘር ሃኪንግ ስኪል ፎር ዲፌንሲቭ ፐርፐስ። ስለዚህ እነዚህ ክራከሮች ባድ ጋይስ ይባላሉ ደግሞ ብላክ አታከር የሚባሉ ሰዎች ናቸው። ስለዚህ የሲስተሙን ደግሞ ሳይፈቀድ ዊዛውት ኤኒ አውቶራይዜሽን የሰዎቹን ዳታ መውሰድ ከዛ በኋላ ብር የሚጠይቁ ወይም ደግሞ ለራሳቸው ቢዝነስ የሰዎችን ወይም ደግሞ የካምፓኒዎችን ዳታ ሀክ የሚያደርጉ ሰዎች ናቸው ክራከር። ኤቲካል ሃከር ግን ኢትስ ሌጋል ፕሮፌሽናል ዊች ካን ቢ ዱ ሃኪንግ አክቲቪቲ ቤዝድ አፖን ሳም ሳይንድ አግሪመንት ቢትዊን ዘ ኤቲካል ሃከር ኤንድ ዘ ካምፓኒ ሶ ፐርፎርም ሞስት ኦፍ ዘ ሴም አክቲቪቲ ዊዛውት ዋት with owner permission. So they can do permission ወይም ደግሞ ከቤዝድ አፖን በካምፓኒ ባለቤት ፐርሚሽን ቤዝድ ያሆኑ ነው ኢቲካል ሃከሮች ወይም ደግሞ ውል ላይ ተመሰርቶ ነው ሃኪንግ የሚሰሩት። እነዚህ ክራከሮች ደግሞ ይሄን ውል ወይም ደግሞ የኦውነር ፐርሚሽን ሳይሆን ዊዛውት ጌቲንግ አውቶራይዜሽን they can do the hacking. So ክራከር እና ኢቲካል ሃከር በዛ እንለየዋለን ማለት ነው። Just the other thing is about element of security in computer network. Just as we have learned in other security like information security, you have learned the concept of CIA triangle. CIA triangle means confidentiality, integrity, and availability of your system. So, if you assure your those CIA triangle, your system can be secure, like confidentiality and integrity and availability. The other thing is authenticity. So what is security just is the first process and methodology which are designed implement to protect information data or system in digital world. So in the digital world, the way you can protect your information from unauthorized access is known as security. So security rests on confidentiality, integrity, and availability. If you achieve the confidentiality of your system is maybe secure. Confidentiality means the data that you have sent to some person or some destination or receiver must be accessed only the authorized party. It must be if the unauthorized person can have the probability to access your data during the transit, your confidentiality is compromised. So you should have to protect your confidentiality. So to achieve that, you should have to use different algorithms that must be applied, like Diffie-Hellman algorithm, RSA algorithm, or hashing methods that can be used by the certification. So maybe the other thing is about authenticity, is identification and assurance of original information. That means whenever your system is secured, your authenticity can be achieved. That means assure the origin of the information must be viewed only by the authorized party or person only. The other is integrity. So integrity just it is refers to the data that can be in transit or the data that can be sent from the sender to the receiver only modified, altered, or changed only by the authorized party. There is no the probability of the intercept. So that means modification. So interception is the attack that can be done on confidentiality. If man in the middle can have the probability to intercept your data, your confidentiality is what? Compromised. If this man in the middle have the probability to modify your data, that is known as modification attack. Your integrity is compromised, so you should have to assure your integrity. That means your data or the packet you are sending in the network must be modified, altered, and changed only by the owner of the data, or the two parties which have the legal access to that data. And the other is availability. Just availability, as you know, some digital application or some application can say that 24 hours per 7 days. That is availability. Your system must be always available to your users. So maybe some hackers try to attack or break your system to make them unavailable. Means breaking the system to be not to be accessible by using like denial of service attack. So if you confirm or assure your availability, your system can be accessed 24 hours per 7. That means the hacker cannot have the probability to attack your system to make the system unavailable. Means አሁን ለምሳሌ ኮንፊደንሻሊቲ ኢንቴግሪቲ እና አቫይላቢሊቲ የሚባሉት በጣም ወሳኝ ነገሮች ናቸው በሲኩሪቲ ማለት። ኮንፊደንሻሊቲ ማለት የተላኩ ዳታ ወይም ደግሞ ከሴንደር ወደ ሪሲቨር የሄደችው ዳታ መታየት የምትችለው ወይም ደግሞ ማት ወይም ደግሞ ኢንተርሴፕት ማድረግ የምትችለው በአውቶራይዝድ ፐርሰን ወይም ደግሞ በላኪው ነው በተቀባዩ ሰዎች ብቻ ነው። ዛዝርስ ኢንቴግሪቲ የሚባለው ደግሞ የተላከችው ዳታ ወይም ደግሞ መቀየር ሞዲፋይድ ቼንጅ መደረግ የምትገባ ምንድነው በአውቶራይዝድ ፐርሰን በኢንፎርሜሽን ባለቤት ብቻ ነው። አቫይላቢሊቲ የሚባለው ምንድነው ሲስተሙ 24 hours per 7 day አክሴሲብል ነው ካለው ያ ሲስተም ምንድነው ማለት አክሴሲብል መሆን አለበት። አክሴሲብል እንዳይሆን ማድረግ የሚፈልጉ ሀገሮች አሉ። ሶ እነዛ ሀገሮችን ፕሮቴክት የምታደርግበት የተለያዩ ቱሎች የተለያዩ አልጎሪዝሞች ምን ማድረግ አለበት ማለት ነው አፕላይ ማድረግ አለበት። ስለዚህ የኢቲካል ሃኪንግ ዋና ዓላማ የአንቲ ኮንፊደንሻሊቲ ኢንቴግሪቲ አቫይላቢሊቲ አውተንቲሲቲ እና ነን ሬፑቴሽን የሚባሉት አሹር ሆናል ወይስ ኮምፕሮማይዝድ ሆናል የነሱ ዊክነሱን ቼክ የምታደርግበት ስኪል ነው ኢቲካል ሃኪንግ ማለት። ለዛ ነው አሁን ኢንፎርሜሽን ሲኩሪቲ ላይ ተማርኳቸው አሉ። ስለዚህ በዛ እነዛ አንድን ሲስተም ሲኩር ማድረግ የምንችለው ምን ስናደርግ ነው። ስለዚህ ያንን ሲኩሪቲ ደግሞ ብሬክ ለማድረግ የሚሞክሩ ከሀከሮች አሉ ወይም ደግሞ ሀከሮች አሉ። ሶ እነዛ ሀከሮችን እንዴት አድርገን ፕሮቴክት ማድረግ የምንችለው የሚል ኤም አለው የዚህ ኮርስ ማለት ነው። ሶ ዛዝርስ ዋት ዳስ ማሊሽየስ ሃከር ዱ የሚል ኮንሴፕት ነው። ስለዚህ ማሊሽየስ ሃከር ወይም ደግሞ ሀከሮች የሚባሉት ስለዚህ ይሄ 5 ፌዝ ኦፍ ሃኪንግ የሚባል ወደ 5 ፌዞች አሉ። ሪኮንሰናንስ ፌዝ ዛት አክቲቭ እና ፓሲቭ የሚባሉ አሉ። ስካኒንግ ፌዝ፣ ጌኒንግ አክሰስ ፌዝ፣ ሜንቴኒንግ አክሰስ ኤንድ ካቨሪንግ ትራፕስ የሚባሉ ወደ 5 ፌዞች አሉ። እነዚህ ፌዞች ሀከሮች የሚጠቀሙበት ለሃኪንግ ፐርፐስ የሚጠቀሙበት ፌዝ ናቸው። ስለዚህ እዚህ ጋር ከሪኮንሰናንስ ፌዝ ነው የምነሱት። ከዛ ስካኒንግ፣ ጌኒንግ አክሰስ፣ ሜንቴኒንግ አክሰስ ኤንድ ካቨሪንግ ትራፕ የሚባሉ ናቸው። ሶ ሪኮንሰናንስ የሚባሉት ምንድናቸው? ሪኮንሰናንስ ፉትፕሪንቲንግ ኤንድ ኢኑሜሬሽን የሚባሉ አሉ። እነዚህ ምንድናቸው? ኢንፎርሜሽን ጋዘሪንግ ነው። ከምትፈልገው ሲስተም ለሀክ ማድረግ የምትፈልገው ሲስተም ስለሱ ሲስተም ምንድነው ኢንፎርሜሽን ጋዘር ማድረግ የምትፈልገው መረጃ የሚጠቅሙትን ኢንፎርሜሽኖችን ጋዘር የምታደርግበት ስቴፕ ነው። ስካኒንግ ደግሞ ኢት ኢዝ ኦልሶ ፕሪ አታክ ነው። ፕሪ አታክ ፌስ ነው። እንደሞ ሲስተሙ ሀክ ለማድረግ ወይም አታክ ለማድረግ መሞከር ነው። ጌኒ አክሰስ ሚንስ ቶታሊ ሲስተሙ ስትገባ ወይም ደግሞ ኤክስፕሎይት አድርገህ ስትገባ፣ ሜንቴኒ አክሰስ ቶታሊ አሁን ነው ዳታ ወይም ደግሞ ዳታዎችን መውሰድ ሲጀምር፣ ካቨሪንግ ትራክ ምን የመጣበት ወይም ደግሞ የሲስተሙ ባለቤት ወይም ደግሞ የኔትወርክ አድሚኑ ሲስተም አድሚኑ ሲስተሙ ሀክ መደረጉን እንዳያውቅ ወይም ደግሞ እሱ ያንን ነገር እንዳውቅ ማድረግ ነው ማለት ነው። እነዚህ ፌዞቹ እንደም 5 ፌዝ ኦፍ ኢቲካል ሃኪንግ የሚባሉትን ስለዚህ ቀጣይ ቪዲዮ ላይ ይዤ እመጣለሁ። ሪኮንሰናንስ ምንድነው? ስካኒንግ ላይ ምንድነው? ሳውንድ ሪኮንሰናንስ ላይ የሚሰሩ ስራዎች አሉ። የተለያዩ ቱሎች አሉ። እነዛ ቱሎች ምንድነው? እንዴት ነው አንድ ሲስተም ሀክ ማድረግ የምንችለው? ስካኒንግ ምንድነው የሚሰራው? ጌኒንግ አክሰስ፣ ሜንቴኒንግ አክሰስ እና ካቨሪንግ ትራክ ምንድነው የሚሰራው የሚለውን ቀጣይ ቪዲዮ ላይ ይዤ ስለሚመጣ ስለዚህ ይሄንን ቪዲዮ ጠቃሚ ሆኖ ካገኛችሁት ላይክ፣ ሼር፣ ሰብስክራይብ አድርጉና ስለዚህ ቀጣይ ቪዲዮ የሚሰራው ወይም ደግሞ ስለ አሁን ለምሳሌ ስለ 5 ፌዝ ኦፍ ሃኪንግ እንዴት ነው ሀክ የምናደርገው፣ አንድ ሲስተም እንዴት ብሬክ አድርገን እንገባለን፣ ስለዚህ ምን አይነት ካውንተር ሜጀሮችን እንሰራለን የሚል ይዤ ስለሚመጣ እሱ ቪዲዮ እንዲደርሳችሁ ይህንን ቪዲዮ ሰብስክራይብ፣ ላይክ እና ሼር በማድረግ እንድትከታተሉን እላለሁ። ጥያቄ ወይም ደግሞ ያልገባችሁስ ነገር ካለ ኮሜንት ላይ እንድጽፉልኝ እላለሁ። ቻው ቻው። ታንክ ዩ